The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Forum, assemble! You're watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books, and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us while we take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle. Inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey.
Hey, indeed. Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
What's up? Yeah.
Yeah. And as for myself, my name's Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. Shout out to Oz. He'll be here any minute. Like, look, we started unusually on time today, so you have to forgive him. He had to run home from work, so he's gonna mess around and I guess I don't know. Is he putting on his podcasting pants or just taking pants off so he can podcast in comfort?
Probably saying hi to his wife and
Meh. Oh, so take his pants off.
Yeah.
Got it. No, got it. I get it. I remember. Well, we got a great show for you today. We are going to be talking to you all about I Hate Fairyland, Volume 2. And so we'll be talking specifically about issue number 5 and what that all brings to the table. So that should be a really cool and interesting conversation. And of course, we'll be talking to you all about the latest and greatest in comic book news. And of course, whatever else it is you all want to talk about. But before we do all that, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, the show would not be in existence. So thank you, Scott Rubin. Hope you're doing well, good sir. Yeah, and with that said, I guess we should just go to the intern. Let the intern tell us about what's going on, how to get down.
Let's see here. Intern.
Get in on the
Would
action.
you like me to do it?
Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
Indeed. Thank you, intern. Appreciate all your hard work. So, yeah, get down with Fantastic Forum. You can jump on fantasticforum.live and jump right into the show. You would have the coveted 4th spot, at least until Oz gets here. Or you can just go ahead and jump into the chat room, and we'll take your comments directly out of chat and bring them into the show. Such as Jay, why don't you insert... Oh, wait. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our intrepid senior reporter. Next in line for the cowl, it's our resident Dark Knight detective, Oz!
Out for 5 minutes and you're already replacing me.
All right, look, I don't know what to tell you, man. You look, you snooze, you lose. I'm like, hey, man, Oz not here. Guess what, man?
Now my chair is sinking.
It's because you don't have any pants on.
It's because I got fat. I think I've exceeded its weight limit.
Oh, no.
I was a lot thinner when I bought this thing.
All right, Jay. Insert witty chat comment here, please, Jay.
Tiger Claw says, "What's up, Fantastic Forum? Did you see the new Flash trailer?"
Shout out to Tiger Claw. Thanks for tuning in as usual, Tiger Claw. It's good to see you, man. Fellas, did you all see the new Flash trailer?
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah. What do y'all think? Like, what are your thoughts on this particular trailer now? What do you think, Oz? You're our resident DC fanatic.
I mean, I thought I thought the first trailers were good, but like I said, I'm not trusting trailers anymore.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, no, I agree. Like I thought that first trailer kind of blew me away by how good of a movie it made it look. This trailer still makes it look like a good movie, but it doesn't. It has a different tone that I don't think necessarily. It doesn't hurt the movie, but it doesn't help it either. It's not like I'm like, oh, like sometimes you get like the next trailer and you're like even more hyped. Like this trailer didn't do that for me. It didn't hype me up more, but it didn't take anything away, so that's a win, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I got a better look at the goofy Ezra Miller suit. The one that's just a bat suit they spray painted. And I mean that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like they didn't have time, so they just kind of put some spray paint, cut the ears off, and sent him on his way.
You realize that might be what it is, though, right?
No, it's exactly what it is. It's a extra bat suit that they just cut the ears off.
Okay, but like
I know for a fact that's what it is.
Right, but I'm saying from a story perspective,
I think could have done better.
Well, I'm just saying,
they could have given what would have been called him alternate Ezra. They could have given him like the original Flash suit, the Power Ranger suit.
No, but what I'm saying is, it looks like from the trailer that the other Ezra isn't a Flash.
He is at some point.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is, like, he's not a Flash when he comes to that reality, right? So
right,
it might be a whole
Flash who has a new suit, which means he has an old suit somewhere, or he made the old suit somehow. You know, he could whip up something and give him something better.
They might have just borrowed a suit from Batman.
Do not need to come from Bruce Wayne. I guarantee you, this new suit came from Bruce Wayne. The new
right.
You don't have to.
I don't know. That seems like what happens in the comics, right? Am I right? All Flash suits come from Bruce Wayne in the comics. Jay, what'd you think of the Flash trailer?
Oh, definitely wasn't as good as the first one.
Definitely what?
Wasn't as good as the first trailer.
Yeah, that's fair. Would you say not as good though? Like, do you feel like it was like? Is it like would it detract from the movie for you? Like, do you feel like maybe I'll have second thoughts about whether I would see it?
No, like I'm gonna see it just because comic book movie. So I'm gonna see it. But
also, according to early reviews, it's the greatest superhero movie of all time.
Yeah, the first trailer made that seem plausible.
Right, I agree. I agree. Mo, what do you think, man?
I don't know how Ezra Miller still has his job, but Jonathan Majors is like, we don't know yet. Yeah, that's what I think about the trailer. Like, it's like it's like you. I don't know if I can even answer that question.
Not only does he, I mean, Jonathan Majors was actually dropped by different projects, right? And
right, yeah.
Miller, they were kind of like, well,
and I think Disney's like, I don't think they want to drop him, but who knows?
Well, yeah, it might happen.
It's because Ezra Miller is they, them, and they don't know who to arrest.
Well, hey, they don't want that paperwork. But, Jonathan Majors.
You got to write everything in triplicate.
For the justice system, Ezra, Jonathan Majors is an easy answer. But, there's neither here nor there, except that, Disney's also fighting Ron DeSantis, too. So... yeah, so that's a whole other issue too. But Disney's like, man, we're spread a little thin. But yeah, I don't think they want to give up on Jonathan Majors. But and again, you asked me about the trailer. The trailer is fine. It's like whatever. What does it matter? Like we're all destined to be eaten by worms. So it's like, yeah.
Why?
Like,
Why is this Flash movie not potentially bringing you any joy, Moses?
because it's Ezra Miller. I don't
That's
like him
fair.
for Flash. Like, I didn't like him for Flash from the beginning. I don't like
I
him for
agree.
Allen. I don't like him for he's not. It's a
Yeah.
bad casting, and even if it's a good movie, he's still not a
Yeah.
good Flash. I
That's
got
fair.
I got the whole dude from the show, and he was great. He was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, they even did that Flash wrong, but the show was
I
good, and
agree.
it was
Right.
only good because they made him into Spider-Man. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
he started working at Star Labs and everything, took
Mm-hmm.
over Horizon and everything, just like Spider.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah. So I'm like, if you're gonna do it, you do it well. If you're gonna fuck it up well, and that's what the first 4 seasons of Flash did. I don't need a fucking movie for Flash.
There it is.
You know,
Listen, I'm not mad.
What's some dude's name that's playing Zod?
Oh man,
I don't know that guy's name.
Michael Sheehan.
Yeah, supposedly he asked for Snyder's permission to reprise the role.
Yeah.
I tend to believe that's a little bit exaggerated. Apparently,
Yeah.
Gal Gadot and Cavill also shot some scenes, but they might have been cut, and I don't know if they asked Snyder for permission to cut stuff, but
Yeah.
Wait, so are you implying that those scenes may have gotten cut, and the reason is because they didn't kiss the ring? They didn't go to Snyder and be like,
no, I'm implying that if you're gonna cut stuff, you need to check with Snyder because he's an expert.
They call him
mm,
the Moyle.
I'm waiting to see that light flashing over your head, Lawrence. I'm waiting for you. This isn't a physical
I got
attack. This is
emotional damage.
oh Lord.
I just got that thing.
I'm not mad at you. It's okay.
I've been wanting to
It's
put that
okay.
on here for like 2 months, and I keep forgetting.
It definitely would have been more timely 2 months ago, but it's okay. It'll come in handy. It's like we do that often here.
There's another secret one I'm waiting for a cue.
Okay, cool. All right, cool, man. All right. Well, yeah. So we did see what's Tiger Claw saying in chat. Like I see he has a couple more comments.
I heard the 30 years after my return, so they're ignoring the.
No, did you cut out, Mo, or were you just leaving those words out on purpose?
My shit's actually.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says, yeah, I heard the Batman and the Flash movie takes place 30 years after Batman Returns, so they are ignoring the Joel Schumacher Batman movies. Wait, so
I did hear they're gonna reference Adam West.
okay, but wait,
he should be Dr. Wayne. Like,
help me! Oh, like the dad?
yeah.
Oh my god! Wait, so help me out here. Why? Like, because I don't remember the Batman movies timeline. Is there a Batman movie that takes place 30 years after other Batman movies?
No, but they were all recast, so they're using. They're all the same Bruce Wayne, really. Like Tiger Claw's comment doesn't make a whole lot of sense because they're the same.
Okay.
They're the same Batman. So even if it does take place, like all that stuff is still canon.
Well, he also does
Yeah.
call it the Schumacher movies, and
Yeah.
the Keaton ones were what's his face with the hair
Burton.
stripes?
Tim Burton, yeah. But
Yeah.
they're technically all Burton verse in terms of
Yeah, I
story.
don't,
Yeah.
right. Like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what is it about this taking place 30 years after Batman Returns that makes it, like, not.
Well,
like
he's
the Joel
saying they're
Schumacher
ignoring if they're ignoring the Schumacher stuff. That's actually kind of a big deal because there are some big villains in those movies.
Well, but it's also he's thinking that they're not doing it because they're not using those actors, but those actors they're the same character as Michael Keaton. They're not reboots. They're all that's the same continuity. It's just different.
Yeah, it's like James Bond.
Yeah.
So you think I don't know if they'll reference any of those movies, but like if they had Mr. Freeze helmet, it would be the one from the Schwarzenegger helmet or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
it still
here's the
works
thing.
either way.
Yeah, I don't know that they're going to reference any of those movies at all. Like, they might not. I'm just saying, I was just trying to figure out, like, was there some kind of reason that it taking place 30 years later made it so that it negated the other Batman movies? But yeah, I understand what you're saying now, Mo. I think Tiger Claw is maybe focusing on the Michael Keaton casting aspect.
Translated the comment for me too. I misunderstood.
And realistically, like Ben Affleck is Michael Keaton because that music came on and that penguin, that the penguin bombs, they reference that in Batman versus Superman or one of those, or Justice League, and they had some of the stuff from the Batman Returns stuff. So technically that's the same. The movie that takes place 30 years after is actually Batman versus Superman. So
yeah, I mean, I definitely think at this point, like, I'm not saying Tiger Claw is completely wrong. I'm saying that we don't have enough information to make that call that I can see. like, because realistically, like, I mean, I don't even know if it's a thing where, like, obviously we're doing like some reality hopping or whatnot. I don't know if, like, say for instance, does Batman exist in the same world that other version of Flash does, where his mom is alive? Maybe, I don't know, but that could be.
Well,
that's not the Flash. That's time travel. That's him creating the Flashpoint.
Yeah, he's not traveling to an alternate universe.
He's going back in time to save her.
This
is
Flashpoint, or it's supposed to be a version of Flashpoint. Even the way they have Supergirl, was how Superman was kind of like locked up and not dehydrated and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same. It's the same concepts.
Yeah,
different characters, because I don't know, they couldn't do what they did with Captain America to Cavill for some reason.
I
know the reason they wanted to do they wanted that Supergirl to team up with the new Batgirl that they're working with, and Keaton was going to be like their Nick Fury.
I don't think DC, or at least Warner Discovery has. I don't think they thought out like variants and stuff, all that like Marvel has. So you're thinking the MCU way with the variants, and that's not what's happening in this movie.
No, and that's fair, but like, I'm just thinking about like the comic, and were there two Flashes in Flashpoint in the comic?
No, it was just the one, and there was no Flash when he gets there. So that's why Thomas Wayne.
Right.
You're talking crazy talk. You want me to electrocute you and splash some acid on you? Like,
right.
You need to,
like, this fool had he went into the new time or like the new timeline or whatever, and then he had no powers, or he didn't have access to his powers.
What they're trying to do is the Flash of Two Worlds, which is like the precursor to like the first Crisis, and that's where it shouldn't have been. It should have been like a bigger buffer dude and call him Jay Garrick like the show did. But it's like all the berries were berries from different points in time that were the same guy, and then all the other Flashes were other speedsters from different worlds, and they were different cast.
Yeah.
And that's how you do this, right? But this movie is variants without really thinking out variants,
and hence the confusion, I guess, because I'm sitting here like, okay, like, I know what Flashpoint did, but there weren't two Flashes in Flashpoint, so I'm just like, okay, like, in my mind, I was like, okay, this must be like some reality hopping ish kind of stuff a little bit, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Every time, they are dealing with multiverse, so they're probably might do. I just don't think it's as thought out as like Marvel has right now with like the TVA and all that stuff. And Kevin, but it could be that it's like I said, just not. And then I keep thinking like Supergirl. I keep thinking that Supergirl is excess every year. Every time I see her, I just think she's excess because
Who's excess?
the speedster. Fucking Larry.
Wait, what? Like I gotta know every speedster
You gotta
in
know
the Flash.
children. Oh, you hate children. I forgot.
Yeah. And
I
like
hate
Jay
children.
introduced
What?
us to excess, and he, you asked that question when he brought her up.
Okay, so you're mad at me for being consistent?
Yes.
Yes, actually, yeah.
Okay, I don't even understand. I'm just saying, like, you all know how many.
It's
Look,
like how we're mad at DC for being consistent with their crappy movies.
well, listen, DC sound like they're gonna try to change, and look, I would like to remember more things.
Every movie, they sound like they're trying to change, and then what?
That's true.
Exactly.
You're right.
We have the same conversation every time. People think it's a rerun. Like that's why I'm not even wearing a comic book shirt because it's like I need people to know it's a different week.
So I'm sorry. Which one is excess now?
The purple one.
Jay, can you explain that to Larry? I don't have the I don't have
The energy,
bandwidth.
Damn. Mo got educated on us with the bandwidth. Damn
No,
it.
I literally
here.
did. That's why my sound keeps cutting off.
Oh. He's like, I don't have the internet bandwidth. Jay, which one is excess? Jay went to the visuals. He's like, I don't even want to talk to you.
I thought I put her up on screen.
Yeah, you did. That's Sentry.
She's a
In the
Okay,
comics,
I
she's
forgot.
Harry's granddaughter, but in the TV show,
No,
they
that's
made
like
her
that.
his daughter.
Wait, what'd you say? I'm sorry, Jay. What were you saying?
He doesn't
Okay,
have
Jay's
the
like, I'm not.
and she's a member of Legion of Superheroes. Granddaughter of Barry, cousin Art.
Is that the character they were doing in the Flash
I
TV
remember
show?
she had a race with Bart once, and she won because his speed force was fucked up, and instead of running through the door, he ran into it.
I mean, so she can't just be faster. Like his speed force had to mess up. Is that what we're saying? That's sexist.
That's what happened.
She can't
Sure,
tap
it is
into
misogynist.
or at least then.
Sure,
She's older
misogynist.
now.
Wait, when milliseconds count, that's the only competitive edge.
So yeah, okay, yeah, there are too many speedsters.
In the
Yeah,
TV,
but-
they try to bring her in the TV show and make her his daughter instead of his granddaughter.
Right. Okay. That is okay. I got it. I know who we're talking about now. Got it. No, got it. But wait, so
I think they made Bart his son too.
I didn't get that
I think,
far.
I think
That's
Impulse is
messed
his
up.
son.
That's
That's
messed up.
gross.
Jeez. Like, aren't we like we're like the legacy heroes are out of hand, right? Like we can agree on that, right? Like where like the sad fact of the matter is from a legacy hero perspective, I kind of feel like the place that has like a lot of them, but they still kind of have it manageable now, which is crazy to me, is the Wolverines. I feel like the Wolverines found a good, like, happy median, and I like as long as they don't make any more, we're good. But I feel like whether you're talking about like Flashes or Spider people,
Yeah, I think
or
last week we talked about how many goddamn spider people there are.
right, look, symbiotes. The symbiotes are out of hand.
Oh.
Someone needs to stop making symbiotes.
I'm where your boy is.
Canola needs to stop fucking spacesuits. Well, like symbiotes are just Noel's like jizz, right?
No,
Like because they look like little sperms when the head comes out.
Yes is the right answer to that. I think Jay. Yes. Space jizz, Jay.
Well, that's what Bedlam was.
I
He was like Carnages.
Carnages.
Carnage jizz. Sorry, I don't enunciate.
I like Carnages better.
But yeah, man, it's like it's out of hand. It's too much. Like even they're look. I'm on the like even at this point like Jason Aaron's Avengers run like just ended, and I'm like I feel like there's too many Thors. You know, which and there's not even that many Thors. I think they just like all the ancillary Thors just kind of suck a little bit. So I'm just like, yeah, there might be too many Thors.
They're better off when they have their own book, right? Like Beta Ray Bill's little mini runs, and like because those got weird, and they did their thing, and then eventually he'd pop into the main series and the Avengers. But
yeah,
it was good because if you liked them, you had his series, and then they do like different volumes, here and there, and you got your fill of them. But then stuff going on in Avengers and X-Men where you're like, okay, I got my month-to-month stuff and I could do my mini. And I kind of feel like they're doing that now, but with crappy stuff like Dark Web or or like Murder World. And not that it's crappy, but the way they're even doing that is a crappy way of doing it. And they're doing it with Unforgiven now too. And it's like, so I think both of them are like editorially, they're kind of fucked. Like they need some management. Like they need to do what Jay and I did and go clean house with IDW. Now IDW is like sales have been going up in the last 6 months.
There it is. Y'all streamlined it.
Stock price isn't quite up, but that's just market conditions, right now.
It is.
But we're planting those seeds, and we clean house. We're getting Stranger Things and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover. Like you're welcome, guys.
Thank you, Moses and Jay. Thank you.
Jay and I actually came up with that idea to pitch when we were practicing in our band. And then like, hey, what'd be cool? Because it's like 80s stuff. And if they kind of, and then, oh, Larry, you'd be pleased because, pussy ass Larry doesn't like the name Fucked by Force. So we had to change the name.
That wasn't
just a piece Larry.
By Force or the Force?
No. It was actually Forced to Fuck.
Yeah, Forced to Fuck.
Which is feels like an allusion to rape to me, and that's why I was like, you should change that.
Forced to Suck, which was,
and then so now we're just gonna be called By Way of Force.
Okay, hey, that's a whole different thing. See,
by is bi,
but now the alliteration isn't there.
But by way of Force is actually a great name. I like that a lot.
I haven't consulted with Jay yet, so don't get used to it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I apologize for enjoying it. Like I know how much you hate that.
You already pre-ordered the shirt.
Look, there it is. Like, I guess I got to go ahead and like cancel that. Got it. So, but yeah,
you guys are already getting canceled.
Yeah.
Listen, they were canceled as soon as they were called Forced to Fuck. I was like, dude, like what? Like you should not be that.
It's the only way we could get Larry to say fuck.
That's it. Yeah. Anyway, okay. We should get into our review, shouldn't we? It's about that time, don't you think?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
Comic book
review.
Comic book
like
review.
Well, not like that, but like.
All right, party people. Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute, what's that? But I know what that is. Like now I do.
Is it too loud?
No.
No. In fact, turn it down even more. Like,
turn it down?
Yeah. Just keep going.
So we could talk over it comfortably.
Just keep going. No, a little bit more. I can still hear it.
It was fine. Why are you listening to Oz? You know, Oz doesn't have the best interest of the show in mind. Everyone knows this about Oz. All right. I Hate Fairyland, Volume 2. We're here to talk about it. And like I mentioned before, Volume 5, Number 5, specifically. Jay, you brought this to the table, so why don't you tell us about it?
Okay, so Gert has been basically tasked with going to Fairyland and rescuing the child of a rich business magnate. And because she wasn't invited, she has to go through this precursor. I forget what they call it, but in order to get there. And this is the final leg of that journey where it's, I forgot what you call it, when it's like a tit for tat, where she goes grabbing objects and giving them to others for other objects in order to eventually get back into Fairyland.
You talk about like I don't know, like barter or a fetch quest?
Yeah.
A little bit of both.
There's a specific word for it when it's like layered, tiered like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember what it's called. And the first part of the story is dialogueless, and you're supposed to listen to this song, the song "This World" by Jack the Radio.
And Scotty Young.
Scotty Young had a hand in that?
Yeah.
Well, it's inspired by the book, right? But that's it, right? Like he
I
didn't.
doubt that.
No,
Yeah.
I think he has a credit in it too. But I mean, I could be wrong.
No, I mean, I think he has a credit because the song's inspired by.
It's
I Hate
inspired by
Fairyland.
that song is inspired by this book, like how Zachary Levi is inspired by the kid that played Billy Batson.
No, that doesn't work.
Damn.
Yeah, it does.
Damn, how dare you?
Look, that cover has way better lightning than both those fucking Shazam movies.
That has nothing to do with my comment.
No, you can't compare that to this.
Yes, I can. It's the
No.
same fucking shit. And I put this on their goddamn YouTube because I was so pissed off that they made me listen to this stupid song that they said goes with this stupid book. And look, I told them, you're telling me this song is written for this book? I'm seeing what looks like a metal band. In fact, I think at one point she like calls them kind of like a fake Metallica or something.
Yeah.
This metal band
Metallica.
is about to get down while she's out there fighting a fucking dragon. And meanwhile, I'm listening to this fucking soft ass yacht rock. Like, what the hell is that? That doesn't go with this. And I was expecting like something because I didn't listen to the song the first time I read this book. I just kind of went through it real quick. I was like, oh man, it's gonna be some crazy metal shit. And then halfway through, it's gonna get psychedelic. Like I'm gonna have to find that place where it does the switch and get to that page at that point. And all I get is a stupid this world. I was like, oh, you son of a bitch. I hate that fucking song. I wrote all that on the YouTube.
I just went on a rant on the
have enough
YouTube
fans
page.
to respond to me, so I don't have any funny stories about getting in arguments online.
Damn. Okay. So, Jay? Like, I guess, yeah, continue your summary, Jay, and then we'll get to these comments. Like, oh, Oz came out the gate hot.
No, that was the summary. Like, I think I did the whole summary.
I know. It's just funnier if we hadn't done it. So Oz gave his whole review minus the rating.
Dude, I've been holding that in since you guys told me, oh, you got to get the song. And then I got the song like right away. I was like, oh.
I hadn't even read it yet, but I was like, yeah, I like, yeah. Well, look, Jay, what did you think about it, Jay? I know you've been following this character for a while already because there was like a volume 6, volume 4.
Volume 2.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the second volume, with the first volume consisting of all of her journeys from a child to adulthood, and this one is starting with adulthood. And
she's like trapped in a young body throughout her time in Fairyland, basically, right?
In volume 1, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love this issue. Don't love the song. Not sure it fits. Like I was like, I think it.
Jay's like, I hate you, yacht rock.
No, it just, for what's happening, I feel like a little more metal or a little more rock or something would have been better. Especially when she calls him Satalica, it's like, these guys don't like rock like Satalica.
Jay's like, I've heard Satalica.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. But I do enjoy the book, this issue. It's kind of like the end of the first arc, and it's very satisfying. Yeah, I love it. As a standalone, I think it even works as a standalone issue. Like you don't have that context of why she's there, but you do get like your whole story of her doing like these different fetch quests in order to get into Fairyland, only for her to get backstabbed by the evil guy she knew was evil. And yeah, it's good. Like I like this issue a lot.
I've
Now,
been so disappointed by a song since the first time I actually heard what Kiss music sounds like.
Damn,
that's nothing like War.
Wow,
Yeah, they're like
What you got Kiss for?
Yeah,
I know. I was just going for all the jugulars.
I didn't think they were like crazy heavy metal.
Meanwhile, this loves Linkin Park.
Well, yeah, because I'm such a hip hop guy. Like,
Right.
we want to talk about hip hop. You
Look,
know, the Linkin Park.
It's all gimmicky. Like it's a marketing department band. Like they're just put together like One Direction. Like that. You know, fuck.
Yeah, they're not going out there looking like they're gonna do something hardcore and then.
You kidding me?
Like the fucking Beatles.
They used to cosplay Korn every concert.
That's what everybody dressed like in the 90s. That's what I dressed like in the 90s.
Yeah, but not people that sounded like Linkin Park. People that sounded like Korn dressed like Korn.
I mean, in fairness, technically nobody sounded like Linkin Park really before Linkin Park, right?
That's right.
Backstreet Boys
as advanced.
Linkin Park and the Backstreet Boys don't sound the same.
Look, listen to that first single and like I Want It That Way, and it syncs up perfectly. It's the same notes and everything. You can put one video over the other, and it syncs up perfectly.
Okay.
Instead of choreographed dances, they're just walking, but they're walking in choreographed in sync to the Backstreet Boys.
So Jay, you mentioned how in I Hate Fairyland 5, you're like, hey, you feel like that story is self-contained and definitely gives you like a complete narrative in and of itself. But in fairness, you did read the other 4 issues before that.
Right.
I did as well. So we should go to Mo, because Mo, you didn't read the other 4 issues before you read this issue, right?
Yeah, not those 4, no. But I read like a few other in
the other
before.
4 has
That's Fairyland stuff.
Yeah.
Volume 1 stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt fine like I even felt fine. Like the song itself, I would have liked it heavier, but it was heavier than anything that I hear now on that's topping the charts. So for me, it's like, oh, this is actually pretty good. And it's the lyrics I feel fit, and it's like that chorus hits when they're saying goodbye and they're crying, and the solo comes in. With that, I'm pretty sure he's using like a Rickenbacker or something with a little good sustain and that 70s retro fuzz distortion. Like that shit just hits right. I mean, I could remix it into a heavier song, but you would lose the lyrics because it's too loud.
I wish I could do drugs like Mo.
Well, you know what? No, there's nothing stopping you.
It's I like this house.
That's the thing. Like, look, you can't even enjoy a fucking comic because you can't do fucking drugs. But you got this fucking house full of fucking comics, and you read a comic and it aggravates you.
Look,
just do some fucking drugs.
So don't get fucking drunk at a bar. Be like, I like this band. I'm gonna put them on my fucking book, and then make people download their goofy song that sucks.
Nah, fucking do it.
I mean, what I will say is this, and I don't know.
I'm gonna be Larry right now. What I will say is this: you didn't pay for any of it. You did it as right again, but you didn't pay for the comic either, and so you're reading, you're doing it for this. There's no reason to be that aggravated.
I'm aggravated for the people that did, because they were
not that many.
Listen, I wasn't going to say that, just for the record. What I was going to say is this, is that...
That's my Larry impression. What I will say is...
You didn't do the laugh, though.
I can't do that. I don't have the lung capacity.
Listen, no, what... Damn it, what was I going to say? Look, Alec, what I was going to say is, I don't know the full story behind like how the song became associated with the comic. But in my estimation is I feel like the band Mo's like, I'm out. No. Like I feel like the band you can come.
I'm having audio issues.
Yeah. No, do your thing, Mo. I'm just messing with you, man. I'm just messing with you. But in my estimation, I feel as though the band probably made the song inspired by volume 1 of the book. And it comes onto Scotty Young's radar. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was inspired to make issue 5 the way he did because of the song. Now, don't get me wrong. I completely understand where you're coming from, Oz, because in the sense that when I looked at the cover of issue 5, especially given that Jay was like, hey, there's a song, you gotta, the thing was gonna make you, they're gonna tell you like, hey, there's a QR code, you gotta scan the code to get the song and then read the song or read the book while the song plays, right?
A quick correction to your earlier statement. That you think they wrote this because they read I Hate Fairyland. Quote from the singer George Hodge, whatever.
Okay.
I was instantly in when Scotty first shared his idea to create a song that would be woven throughout the issue. So this song was made specifically for this issue. It has nothing in common with it.
Well, I mean, okay. So here's the thing. Okay, so it was a collaboration between the two. Okay, got it. It's a collaboration. Like
it's stretching it. It's
I mean, how is that a stretch?
Ice collaborated to get Ice Ice Baby. That's and even that together.
Wait, so I don't even understand. Like you're saying, like it's not a sample. It's they made the song.
You're right, because if it was a sample, it would match a little better, but it doesn't.
Well, but I guess here's
the chorus itself is a Gert's whole thing with this whole reality she lives in.
I agree with that, and that's the thing where in my mind I was gonna say that I agree with where you're coming from, Oz, in the sense that looking at the cover and based on what I had read previously, what I did expect was something definitely an edgier metal kind of song. I did think that was going to happen. Now,
like, here's the thing, I'll let you finish. Never mind.
Thank you, Mo. But what I can say is this: when the song came on, and I started reading the issue with the song, I personally felt it fit fine, and I was shocked by it not being metal because the cover, in my mind, it looks like a metal, like a Scotty Young variant of a metal cover. It literally has like a guitar axe, right? Guitar axe, like you don't get much more metal than a guitar axe, right? So I can totally understand why all of us would think it was going to be like a metal song.
I didn't think it was going to be a metal song.
Didn't you? That doesn't look metal to you?
I mean, it does, but that happens with metal. Everybody likes to use it, and then they put stuff that isn't metal on it. The whole soundtrack to DC metal is not like DC death metal is not death metal. It's not a death metal album.
Wait, is it metal or is it just not death metal?
Well, it's the soundtrack is to DC death metal, and none of those bands on that soundtrack are death metal.
Right, but is it metal music or is it not metal music?
It's not even. There's no metal bands. Like they collaborate. They get different people from different bands to do different things, and it's alternative metal, I guess, if you want to call it like that.
Okay.
Soft.
Okay.
It's yacht.
I'll give you that.
If you want to call it yacht metal.
Metal, that's not a thing. There's no yacht metal.
You haven't heard that soundtrack. Like,
okay. Hey, I'll give you that. But what I'm trying to say is this: is that on one hand, my expectation was the same as Oz's, but on the other hand, when I heard the song and read the issue, I had the same feeling Moses had, in the sense that I was like, no, this fits. And it's not what I expected, but it 100% fits what's happening in the book. And lyrically, it's like, yeah, I agree 100%. Like lyrically, it 100% encapsulates Gert's mentality about Fairyland. And honestly, about this like hellscape pre-world place too. And that's to me where I was just like, wow, like I was actually kind of blown away by, in my mind, about how well it all meshed together. And the only part that I can say where I kind of like it, I won't say it lost me, but the part where I was like, oh yeah, that is dissonant, is like, as you were saying, where you're like, if they're like, hey, suck Metallica, and it's like, well, the music isn't Metallica-esque kind of music, and you know,
a sucky version of that, like that. If you listen to like Mama Said or King Nothing or The Fixer, or I
don't listen to any of those people.
Those songs, no, those are Metallica songs. Those are Metallica songs that sound more like this type of music.
Oh, does it? Oh, yeah. That's not the Metallica I know.
But it's also what people think it sucks about Metallica.
So, so it's might be more nuanced, is what you're saying.
Yeah, if you listen to like
it sounds like Metallica,
right? But I don't even call it bad Metallica because I actually like all those songs. I like I like the stuff off of Load. I like. And even
it like sounds softer Metallica.
Yeah, it's when they went
Metallica.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's, they change. Their influences changed. They drew from different influences, more like the Leonard Skinner type of rock that they listened to, which they use those influences in like Ride the Lightning, but more in their guitar, not in their songwriting. And then in albums like Load and Reload, they use those influences more in the song structure and songwriting. And then like even like the reorchestration of All Within My Hands is like a country song. And it sounds like it's an amazing song. I didn't appreciate that song when it first came out in that style because that was one of the bad albums, but it definitely like the softer, more country version of that song, it's like I'm like, oh shit, like this song is amazing
You
now.
gotta listen to Metallica's version of Whiskey in a Jar. Dude, that's
Yeah.
like shit.
And that yeah.
I think that's originally a country song, right?
Yeah. And it's Metallica with Blues Traveler. Like the band's like
Oh wow.
so they got together and did a super group for that song to do like because the Blues Traveler had like the banjo and then the harmonica and all that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good song. Metallica fans do not like.
Yeah.
And that's fair.
They got so much shit off of what Mo was talking about, Load and Reload, and then the Garage Days. That's when they came out with that harder album. I forget the name, but it was like white with like a black casket on it.
No, so what they did is they did Saint Anger before
Saint
that.
Anger, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, and that was like that. It wasn't that great an album. The lyrics are actually good. It's production really. The production's not that good. And and they're not hungry and angry. Like if they're not hungry and angry, you're not gonna make good like metal like it did back.
Have you heard their new song, Lux something?
Oh yeah, Lux Eterna, yeah. Lux Eterna, that song is great. And then the album itself is pretty good. I listened to it about 4 times back to back already.
Okay, I've only heard the one song. I didn't even hear the whole album. I need to buy it.
It's their least performing album ever. Like the less sales they've ever had, and it's just one of those things. Like everybody consumes music song by song, and they put basically a concept album in theme, not necessarily songs, and nobody listens to whole albums anymore.
Wow. But yeah, man, I feel like the music fit the comic. However, it wasn't what I was expecting to hear. And I don't know if that necessarily made it a better or a worse experience. Because,
here's what I was going to interrupt you with, if you allow me to interrupt you now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that, like, when you look at that cover, that looks like Heroes of the World by Manowar. That's what the cover looks like. And it's like, not going to sound like that. And if they put a song that looked like that, or put something that sounded more like, or it also looks like Versus the World. Like the art inside looks like Scotty Young's version of the cover for Amon Amarth's Versus the World. But if they played Amon Amarth, everybody's like, oh, why'd you make me listen to this shit? This edgelord shit and all that. People don't, there's a very few people that music is for. And if they didn't do
that can appreciate metal. Yeah.
If they didn't do anything that was a little more accessible, like Oz not liking it, but Oz, it's not like Oz likes Manowar or Amon Amarth. So it's like he's like that's not the music he was expecting when he heard it either. I don't know what kind of metal he's expecting, but so it's like you got to give him something more accessible, something easier on the ears if you're gonna make them read it along to your book.
Yeah, no, and I could totally accept and appreciate that point where you're like, you need music that you feel would appeal to the audience of the folks that read I Hate Fairyland.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that, well, I won't say it turns out, but Scotty Young at least believed that I Hate Fairyland wouldn't necessarily, I guess, have a hardcore metal audience.
And honestly, he liked it all together. Like he liked that product and he said this is it. Like
right.
He had time to change it. He had time to go back, know?
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing. The way that you said it, Oz, is like it sounds like he approached the band to make the song, right?
I get the feeling Scotty Young is a fan of this band and wanted to work with them and would have loved whatever they did because he's a fan. I understand that. I get that. Scotty Young loved them and got to work with them.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like I'm like, I was under the impression, like I said, like, and this is like a narrative I made up in my head where I was like, oh, I thought that they made the song first because they liked the comic, and he was like, oh, I'm inspired by that song. Let me make this issue. The fact that they collaborated, I don't know. I mean, it kind of feels like it makes it even a little bit better because it's like,
Oh, so it is. So his credit is valid in the song then.
at least in the sense that, like, I don't know if he had like any actual musical input, but he definitely asked them, like, based on what Oz said, he asked them to make a song to go
like
with the book.
he approached them for the song. Is what that quote makes
to
it
go
seem
with
like.
the issue.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I agree. Like, I felt like honestly, I was pretty blown away by my personal experience, just because it synced up so well. And I know that I was a little bit afraid because I read relatively slow. I feel in comparison to other people. Obviously, there were no like actual words in the first part of the book, but I just was like a little bit like, hey, I don't know if by the time I get to whatever point I get to in the book, even though there are no words, I'm gonna look at the art and try to take the story in pure art form. I didn't know if my like experience looking at these pictures and interpreting the story was gonna sync up with this music. But it literally, like, the song ended right when the words came in the book. And I was just like, oh, wow. Like, that was actually pretty perfect.
I wish they would have been like caption boxes with the lyrics so I could read along in time. Because I had to do it like twice just because I did it too fast the first time. When I got to them crying, I'm like, oh, that's where the solo goes. So I timed it from there.
Right.
Because when that solo hit and then that chorus, like, this world's not made for me, it's like, man,
dude,
I fucking hate this Fairyland, like
100%.
And it's like,
I was feeling it.
Yeah, so I'm like, you know what, man? You know what? Fuck this world too, man. I can't get this rock and roll axe. That I need that rock and roll axe too. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And it's wild because, see, and that's the thing for, like, I know for myself, like I said, I read the previous 4 issues, and it's not like I can't mess around and be like, oh, oh man, Jay, do you remember the guide's name in the book? The little devil looking dude? Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Jay.
He's like, so
Jay, I know. Jay's like tapping into his inner old man. Okay, we can hear you now, Jay. Go ahead, say something.
The devil goat one.
Say what?
The name of the goat.
Yeah,
I could find it.
Oh, you don't have to find it, but that guide had basically been with them. I think since like issue 2, maybe, if not, or maybe even the end of issue 1. I don't remember, but the guide had been with them basically from the beginning until that moment. And so, when she's tearing up, hugging that guide, I was just like, oh man, because like, and it's not like they like. Here, the thing is, it's interesting because it was a weird and awesome kind of moment, because the character isn't one to be like necessarily that attached. So when she did have the moment where she's like, oh, okay, I'm about to cross over into Fairyland. Uh-oh.
We'll just get rid of Jay real quick.
No, sorry. You mentioned how she isn't attached. Like, she doesn't attach. And it just reminded me about Cutie Pukey.
Right, exactly. Which, yeah, if you didn't read the other 4 issues, you don't even know who that is. Right, like they had like a whole like Gremlins illusion that happened in like 2 issues. It wasn't Gremlins though; it was Getlings. It's crazy. Don't worry about it. But the fact is, right, is like the character's not necessarily that attached to people or whatnot. And so, but this guide and her had formed like an alliance that was like somewhat uneasy, but enough that it was like when the time came when she's like, oh damn, like I'm about to go into Fairyland and you're gonna have to stay here. They had a moment. And that was like and because it was like the visual storytelling was so good, which Jay, if you can look up the artist, because it's not Scotty Young, but if you can look up the artist, we should give them credit. But because
it's Bean.
What's the first name?
I'm gonna find it.
Thank you. But
Brett Bean.
Say it again.
Brett Bean.
Thank you. But because the visual storytelling was so good, and because the song was doing what the song was supposed to be doing in that moment, I was just like, damn, like, this is like actually emotional. And I was kind of blown away by that because, like, I agree. Where I was just like, damn, like this all syncs up really well. And then, like, the song was pretty much coming to an end, and Gert was like, "Hey, shut up," and I was like, "It's kind of perfect." Like I can't like, and I don't like again. It might just be serendipity, you know what I'm saying? Like I maybe happen to have the right kind of page turns that this joint worked out that way, you know? Because again, I know I take more time than your average comic book reader to kind of take in the art and the storytelling or whatnot. Because even if there's no words, I'm just like, honestly, in some ways, when there's no words, that makes me look at the pictures even harder. You know, because it's like I can't use the words as a crutch to like infer what the images are trying to tell me. I have to look at the images and be like, okay, all I'm getting is what they're showing me in these panels. And then I feel that is especially so in like this kind of art because, you know, like the art is exaggerated to a certain degree and sometimes like, you know, in some ways it can be even almost over expressive. But at the same time, there's like subtleties, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you talk about like Scotty Young, like this fool is a cartoonist of like the highest caliber. So it's like, yeah, you can look at what, like, you know, I've watched his art so often that I know that it's like, okay, yeah, there's a surface level to what he's trying to put out there, right? But then there's also a little bit of subtext, you know? So I just assume that whoever he's going to get to do his volume 2 of his book is going to have that too. So I take my time. And so, but yeah, it's good stuff. Like I really enjoyed it. And I was like kind of blown away by how well it all synced up.
The song is 3 minutes and 48 seconds. So did the song end when you got to the words or did
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It pretty much like it was ending when I got to the point where Gert was like,
shut the hell up.
Hey, Suctalica. Yeah. Right. And it basically kind of like faded out. And I was like, damn, how did he know? I was like, dude, like, really? Like I was blown away by that. And again, that's a very personal experience. Like it would not shock me to find out that most people like got through the whole book and through the song, right? Because it's only the last part of it has words.
I'm trying to figure out, wait, what page does this song start on? Because it doesn't sound like the beginning of the book. Is this like the second half? What's going on? So yeah, I didn't have that same experience you did. I actually felt like this when I had to go back and do the song thing, I felt like it was wasting my time. And you know,
I hear you.
To me, time is a valuable thing. You watch it
right
by as the pendulum swings and counts down to the end of the day. Clock's a clock, man. In the end, it doesn't matter.
I just had that conversation with Larry. Like, Jay can't watch The Mandalorian because he's watching shit that he likes. I can't watch shit I like because I'm doing shit for the show. So, but on top of that, I do the shit for my life. So I don't get to read anything for leisure. I read things for the show. You know, I tried.
And I told Mo that was a mistake.
But I took your advice.
Good.
I read this book. I read a whole 3 pages of it yesterday.
Pronto
by Elmore Leonard.
Was it a fast read?
Nice.
No, I only read 3 pages. That's all the time I had yesterday.
Hey, 3 pages every day, though. That's how you get through a book.
I'll be finished by the time I get diagnosed with some type of terminal shit.
or just live.
I mean, the day you're born, you're diagnosed with some terminal shit, right? Just how long is it going to take?
Yeah. This book with this song definitely didn't feel like a waste of that countdown clock.
Like I said, in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Listen, wait, did y'all just find a way to like friggin' negatively spin being born? Is that what just happened? They're like, oh man, look, that whole being born thing sucked because they're like, you know what, you gonna die.
I was designated alive at birth. Like that's so shitty. Like I'm a oppressed person.
Right. Absolutely.
I don't like the idea that I went through my mom's vagina.
Pussy.
Literally.
I mean, that's a traumatic thought, right? You don't want to think about that.
I have no problem.
Like, me and my dad are Eskimo buddies, right?
Yeah.
No. You look, he went in, you came out. That's different.
The odd part is that Oz is the only one that gave his mom an orgasm.
Oh Jesus! Wow.
So if I could kind of steer this back to I Hate Fairyland.
Wow.
I don't know why Lawrence is bringing Jesus into that conversation.
Who said anything about Jesus?
You did.
Oh, I think I exclaimed.
He also gave his mom a lot of pleasure.
Whoa! Hey, how dare you? Stop this! Jay, continue.
No, if we don't have anything else to add.
Yeah, we're just getting blasphemous at this point. We need to.
That's my name in Diablo.
That's great.
Jay, wait, you want to go first, Mo?
Yeah, because Jay said it, so I figured I'd go first.
Okay.
It's a 4.5. The half. I didn't read the other 4, but I know enough about I hate fucking Fairyland. That
fluffing.
That's the original title when it first came out, and
Fairyland.
Yeah, fuck Fairyland. So, the sentiment's the same, but I know enough to know about the character a little bit. I read a few of those issues, and then here it's like it felt almost like if this is the last one I ever read, like with the song and everything, it just fit. Even though I haven't followed this arc, but I enjoyed the process, and it's somewhat self-contained. I feel like you get a lot more. Maybe the song even sounds better if you read 1 through 4, but for me it sounded fine. It sounded adequate for the book, and my only complaint is that it didn't have the read-along lyrics in caption boxes, so that I know when the solo kicks in and everybody's crying, including me.
There it is. Oz, why don't you tell us you give us your rating of I Hate Fairyland number 5?
I didn't realize Scotty Young didn't draw it.
No, man.
Hey, look, that's how good his protege is, right? Or his the guy he picked.
That's gonna bump up the score because I was gonna give it a 2. And that's all because I was like, well, it's a Scotty Young book, but he didn't even draw it. But the guy that did, he hit that style so perfectly. And I started looking at, when you guys mentioned that, I started looking at it again. And yeah, I can kind of see that now. It's a little bit cleaner than Scotty Young, but it's still got that that look to it.
But in terms of design, it's like he even has like every face has the proper emotion. I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that from fucking big 2 books right now. You know what I mean? Everybody's cutting corners, and in this book, there's no fucking cutting corners, and it's been like that for a while. Like even Twig is like that too, where it's like there's so much work put into this, and then seeing that with the song playing in the head, like it just the shit just fucking works. And I mean, I even know, like, I haven't been reading I Hate Fairyland like that. I didn't read those again. I didn't read those, but those first 4 issues of this arc. But I could tell that she's not the little kid she was when I did read it, you know. And I got very little dialogue, very little context for that. All I got was just the artist representation while the song was playing. And that to me is a valuable thing. Like even doing the whole thing with like getting a song to play, whether you like it or didn't, is a good way to execute a comic book nowadays. When the most creative people get is in big 2 companies is like your Murder World. You know, here they produce a song for your 5th issue. You know, so it's like this is what innovation or progress is in the medium. Like it pushes it forward. Even if you don't like it, you don't like the song, you like whatever. But this execution of it is moving this medium forward.
And so, what's your final score, Oz?
I'm gonna go with 3 because I'm taking points off for the song. But
Gotcha.
The first time I read it, or the first time I read it, like I said, I hadn't heard the song. And it's like what Mo was saying, the way it's drawn, even though there's no words, I knew exactly what people were thinking and what was going on.
Right.
And there's little details that add to it that I think people should pick up the book and forget the song. Like put on a Metallica album or something for that.
Well, no, I can remix this. Yeah, I could probably remix that. I'll make a motion comic music video with my own picking from a song that would probably fit.
From
I was 100% thinking, I was like, dude, like when I was reading the joint, I was like, somebody should remix this as a video. Like it should be like
well, I said that
animate.
I said that in pre-production. Like we should do that as a pre-production so we could play it. But I didn't get to do it, and I didn't get to read it till. But like even with this original song, even with his original song, and then do one. You know, I can probably do one with. I have a
do it for both. Do it for the original and do it for the one that you think might even fit better.
Yeah, I can definitely. I'm not gonna do both, but I can do.
Okay. Pick whichever one brings you most joy, Mo.
Yeah.
But what I will say is,
joy is not the right word, but you know, you talk about somebody that hates her environment or their environment, and it's like I got the right song for that.
Whichever one brings you the most pain, Mo. Whatever,
dragons and everything.
Look, it's interesting because what I will say is this is based on what Oz was just saying. It's like, especially like, you know, as a comic book fan, like look, what I know is all of us as comic book fans can relate to the idea of somebody doing a cover for a book and you're like, oh, beautiful. Yeah. And you pick up a book and maybe you get excited by the cover and then you mess around, buy the book. Then when you look on the inside, the art inside doesn't match what you saw on the cover, and you'd be like, "Damn it!" Like I got okay duked. Why did and to the point where it's like, you know, as myself as a friggin' avid comic book reader, as a friggin' OG comic book collector, it's like I don't look at a cover and just be like, "Oh, whatever I see on the cover obviously is what's going to be inside the book." Like, no. I'm definitely going to open that book up and just be like, oh, let me look in here. And just, oh, okay. And look, I'm not even surprised if the cover art and the book and the art inside the book don't match. I'm not even surprised by that. It's just a matter of like, what's the degree of difference? Because, you know, especially if it's like a new book, I might be like, I don't know. Like if I don't like that art, I might think twice about making that purchase. You know what I mean? But what I can say is, the covers are Scotty Young covers. and the interiors are bean, and it's like, I feel like most people that look at that cover and then open the book up aren't going to be like, oh, what's this? They're going to be like, oh, cool. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if half the people that buy that book don't even realize it's not the same person that did one versus the other.
Yeah, I thought it was still Scotty Young. I didn't see the names on the cover.
Yeah, right. And that's what I'm saying, where it's like,
through it, I'm like, hey, it looks pretty good.
Because I feel like, I mean, the art is great on the interiors, and they're in the style of Scotty Young enough that there's not any dissonance between the two, but it is different. And it's like, I feel like if you go back and look at like volume 1, because Scotty Young did volume 1 in its totality, if I'm not mistaken, right? Well, either way, it doesn't matter. But I feel like if you look at Scotty Young's art, you can see the differences, but if you're not like looking at it side by side, you're not going to be like, what is this? Which is, you can't say that about a lot of comics in this day and age. So, but anyway, also too, what else I should mention before I have Joe rate it is another aspect of this whole book that I found really kind of amazing and refreshing is that, like comics these days have recap sections, right? Where, they kind of just be like, hey, the story so far. And they just kind of usually have like a little text to kind of, be like, hey, this is what's happened in the issue that in case this is your first issue, here's what's happened before in the other issues. And Scotty Young's recaps are like super meta. And it's awesome. Like literally the issue 1 is like, it starts off talking about, like what happened in I Hate Fairyland, like volume 1. And by the time you get to the end, it literally is talking about like all the other projects he made that weren't as successful as I Hate Fairyland, and how he has to feed his family and how he needs to go back and do like I Hate Fairyland books. And I'm just like, what? Like, I was like, that blew my mind, where I was just like, that's hilarious. Because not only did it like kind of like slightly recap what happened in I Hate Fairyland, but especially like for someone like myself, where I'm like, I appreciate Scott Young as an artist, but I don't necessarily follow all the projects he's done. So he listed like 2 projects that he didn't say by name, but he described them. And I was just like, wait, what was that? And it made me go look. Because he literally like self-deprecated. He was like, oh, and I did this thing. Like he did a project about himself or talking about what it's like growing up in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just talking about, like, he talked about it like, yeah, like, I wrote like, yeah, and the artist had to write some crazy stuff about his time growing up in the Midwest that, no one really wanted to see. And then he did this other project about, because he was like afraid he was getting pigeonholed into an art style. And so he just tried to like redo his art style or whatever. And I was just like, what are these books? And it made me go look for them. One is called one's called Middle West, which I was like, I didn't even know that happened. And I'm like, I want to read that. And then the other one, what's the name of that other book?
The Me You Love in the Dark.
There you go.
The description of that made me laugh out loud. Like,
yeah,
I read that already. Like I read the book. Before, so I was reading the story so far, and it's like, oh, when the girl falls in love with the couch, or I'm like, oh my god, that is so
like
funny.
House or whatever, dude. And I was just like, I don't know what this book's about, but I think I need to go find out. And
Me You Love in the Dark is actually pretty good.
And here's the thing: there was no part of it that made me feel like it probably wasn't good. It was just the fact, the way he described it. And again, it was like, I didn't even know those books existed. Because, Scotty Young obviously does a lot of, like, cover work and a lot of, like, look, there's a whole Marvel Snap section that's all him, right? It's like, Scotty Young is working. There's no part of me that's like, oh, I hope Scotty Young is okay. No, Scotty Young is fine. But I didn't know he had like these little creator projects that he was doing on his own that I just were like under like that that weren't on my radar. And the recap section with him self-deprecating made me be like, oh, what are these? Okay, look, you know what? I'm gonna go read those, which I haven't yet, but I'm going to, because of like Jay said, the way he described it, I was like, dude, you know what? I'm interested. And he does that like every issue in the recap is like a different like it is a recap, but it's also like meta, like literally I mentioned to you all how they had like there's an issue that has like the Getlins, and there's a point in one of the recaps where he's like, you know, and yeah, the Getlings, which obviously have no association with Grimm, and then he's like, oh wait, I have a call, and then he's like, oh, that was my lawyer, and he's just like, you know, I should just like end the recap right now because he doesn't want to say Gremlins, but it's obviously a Gremlins illusion, and we all knew that if you read the book. But it's just like, oh, that's pretty funny, you know what I'm saying? Where it's just a fun way to like kind of make the point without making the point, and it's like, you know, like obviously no one's gonna sue him over Gremlins, but if they do, this fool got plausible deniability. So it's like, it's awesome. Jay, what would you rate I Hate Fairyland number 5?
I would give it a 5. I love the book. I love the art. I love the story. Gert. Wasn't feeling the song, but for me, it wasn't syncing up. I am such a fast reader that like I did it like twice, and neither time came close to ending when I was done reading. So
yeah,
I think what Mo was saying, if they had the subtitles in the book, so I would know the pace I'm supposed to be listening to, might have helped. At the same time, this book is amazing. The after credit scene, Larry is back. Man, I love this book, and I'm ready for more.
There it is. Yeah, man. I think for myself, I got to give it a 4.5 myself. It's damn near perfect, and in all honesty, like the only reason I'm giving it a 4.5 because it was perfect for me, but I just knew reading it that I'm like, it's not perfect for other people, whether that was Oz or Moses or Jay. You know, where I'm just like, I feel like I fell in a very serendipitous moment where it's like literally my particular style of reading made this work in the way that I feel like the musician, the writer, and the artist intended. And it worked so perfectly that I was like, I know this isn't everyone's experience. and that's why I have to give it a 4.5, because I'm like, there's no way everyone that reads this book has this experience that I had. And I'm just like, that's unfortunate. And so that's what knocks the point off. But for me, I was just like, dude, this was great. I love it. It was perfect for me. But I just, like I said, like, I just know, like, not only, like, you all know, I've known Joe basically almost my whole life. And Joe's always read faster than me. And then I met Mo, and then I met Oz, and both these fools read faster than me too.
Only comics.
Oh, if you say so. I don't know if that's true. Like, look, I know you read comics especially faster than me. I feel like you're not the biggest novel guy, but if you want to read a novel, I feel like you're like, okay, like if you want to read it, you're gonna read it faster than I read.
Well, remember how I read 3 pages of Pronto? That took 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you read like a bunch of the girl with ship hair or something. The ship-haired girl.
Oh yeah, but I
Jay.
read that like yeah.
Jay, why are you doing this, Jay? You know the name of the book, Jay. Don't do that. Don't be like this. We need to support our people. There it is. The ship with the red hair, goddamn. Which, look, I don't know if y'all read this book, but y'all need to start reading this book. Like,
I read about 40
that's
pages.
interesting.
What I read, like out of those 40 pages, I read like 3 or 4 pages of that, like every 2 weeks.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, man. So I'm just saying, like, that's the only reason why I have to give it like take a half point off, because I enjoyed it thoroughly. And if it was like, if I was the kind of reviewer that was like, my experience is the only experience that matters, it would be a 5. But I just know that it's like, no, like, I mean, I can see outside myself enough to be like, there are people out here, and they're Derek H. That's a great book. Like, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. But anyway, I can see outside myself enough to just be like, no, like, I understand that there are gonna be some people that like don't feel that music, maybe don't feel like that the sequencing of the art syncs up the right way, and so that's the only reason why I have to take the half point. But other than that, dude, it's phenomenal. I enjoyed it thoroughly. So, and I'm happy that you brought it to the table, Jay, and was like, hey, y'all have to read this. So, yeah.
All right.
The end.
I'm afraid I must depart from you now.
Oh no, Jay! Why? We love you, Jay. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oz, tell him don't go.
Apparently, this
All right, Jay.
not for him.
This world is not for me. All right, Jay.
All right.
Talk to you later, buddy.
Guys.
Okay, we're gonna talk about Final Space. Like, that was the news segment.
Oh yeah. I put that in our Discord.
Yeah. Let me hit the news theme.
Woo! Comic book news.
We should have a
comic book
like current. Well, not like that, but like we did it.
All right.
We did it. We got Final Space. Like, we made it happen.
Is that on IDW?
No, so what happened was Olan Rogers, creator of Final Space. We talked about Final Space getting canceled with this whole AT&T, HBO, Warner, Discovery shit. That's Fuckboy Island is getting renewed for its 4th season, but
wait, is that true?
Yeah, fine. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm saying it. Is that what you want for America? Like, but yeah, that's really, like, but I Fuckboy Island just like it always pops up. It pops up on like, oh, you might like this. Like, no, I wouldn't like this. I love Nikki Glaser, but I want her to do something smart. I want her to have like Curb Your Enthusiasm, but Nikki Glaser.
Wait,
you know what I mean?
Is Fuckboy Island like? And is that like a parody show, or is that a real show?
I have no idea.
Because it's a parody show that it is smart, right?
Well, I'm still not going to waste my time of it. I wouldn't watch the real show. I wouldn't want to watch the parody of something so asinine and vomitous. Like,
no, but it's like watching like Colbert.
Right. I didn't watch that either.
Yeah.
Well, so, the closest thing I do to that is John Oliver, and even then, it's like, it's a little too funny. I'll stick to Bill Maher.
That's hilarious. That's a little too funny. He's like, how dare you entertain me so well?
Yeah. In part, I get the issues. I like getting the issues, and I like getting the humor. And you know, Howard Stern used to have a news segment that was it. It was Robin Quivers doing the news segment, and they goof on the news. And I felt like I got informed and laughed. The right balance. He doesn't do that anymore. They just do it throughout the whole show. Now I got to listen to the 4 hours, which I was doing already anyway. But that's beside the.
Real quick.
But either way, yeah.
Real quick, F-Boy Island is a reality show where 3 women have to identify 24 guys as either womenizers or nice guys.
Yeah. But
so
either
it's a
way,
dating reality show.
So my point is that we don't get a final season of Final Space, but they got like 3 seasons. You know, and that's not fair. That's why I don't believe in karma. You know, but with the magic of Kickstarter, Jay and I went in and we're executive producing a film, an animated feature called Godspeed, and what that led to was
that's about another Flash, right?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know yet.
I think it's unfortunate that Jay's never going to read this book.
Damn, why is Jay not going to read it?
Because he's not allowed to make a digital version of it. It has to all be hard copies.
And even
I have been recently, to my dismay, Sigma is like a bad influence on me.
I am a bad influence.
But I've been going on.
Everybody's wife accuses me of that.
I've been going on Kickstarter and funding books that come with physical copies.
Because you want to read that ship with the red pubes, right?
Wait, what?
Whatever.
Why are y'all doing this?
I mean, look, because the carpet match is great.
Through the news.
In any case, Olin Rogers got permission from Warner Discovery to license a comic book, and he's going to use that to tell the finale or a finale of the story, because the actual show was supposed to go on for seasons. Like, he had like 8 seasons worth of ideas, but he's got a comic book to finish it. And so
he had an ending in mind, but he had all that stuff in between, so he's got to kind of filter it down to one graphic novel.
I got 2 pieces on that. First, and we alluded to this earlier, which is the terms of the deal, which is he's not allowed to crowdfund. He has to self-publish it.
But real quick, he's not allowed to crowdfund because he saw what we did with Godspeed. They're scared he's gonna make too much fucking money on it, and they're not gonna get enough of it. You know what I mean? I'm particularly proud of that, and I hope Jay is too. Like, we're both rocking crowdfunding hard cocks right now.
Wow. Okay.
And the book can only be sold on a website that he owns, so you're not going to see it on Amazon or anything like that. Self-published, we talked about that. Only hard copy, no digital, no animation, no voices, and he can only do this one. Now,
only one?
Yeah. He cannot make another book after this one under the current terms. Like, I'm sure they can renegotiate or do something like that. Now, part 2 to that is the first 10,000 copies are already sold out.
Damn.
And they've added another 3,000, and they might slowly keep adding more and more, because I don't think there's a restriction on how many he can sell.
No, the only restriction on how many he could do was on him, just because the weight limit, like for freight and everything of these physical copies, they take up so much space and so much weight. So he's like, let me just do this and then see what happens. So
according to the news story that I have up that's talking about the first 10,000 copies sold out, this book could be upwards to 500 pages.
What?
Yeah.
500 pages?
Yeah.
Is it done yet or no?
According to this article, it says the initial batch of 10,000 copies of the graphic novel, which may be upwards of 500 pages in length, sold out within 28 hours after the return announcement was shared. I don't know where they got
That's
that number.
crazy.
That's not in the actual post by Olan. Like, I don't see anywhere that says this is gonna be a 500-page book, but that number's out there. Just putting pressure on them.
500 pages is crazy.
If you had 2 seasons to go,
I'm just saying. It's like that like is okay. All right.
He's got to put
500
everything
pages.
into this load because he doesn't know if he's gonna get another one.
So, J Mo, is this satisfying?
I'm happy.
It would have been more satisfying had I checked my Twitter and been able to get one of those copies.
Oh, were you not able to actually procure one?
Not yet.
Got it.
Like, they were pretty much, by the time I saw the tweet, they were sold out.
Damn. What are you
And
trying
he
to
was
show us?
already thanking people for their love and support of his project, and I was like, fuck.
Mo's trying to buy the second 3,000. What are you showing us?
Oh, it says well, you can't see it, but it says thank you, Moses.
Yeah.
It's confirmed. I just bought it.
What's the site? I can't find the site.
Finalspaceends.com. Unless I went to a fake site and they just gypped me. But there's as of right now there's 642 in stock. And you can pay in 4 interest-free installments of $31.25 with shop pay. Learn more if you click that. And luckily I have Apple Pay, so
yeah, 425. This better be like 500 pages.
But I honestly I don't mind it. Like if I get a satisfying ending, and even if it's 150 pages, it's gonna be hardcover, dust jackets, maybe some art and everything around it. Like I can even I did comment on the YouTube video that he posted if we can get a white cover, like even as a dust jacket, like I'm down. And then I realized I could just a dust jacket that's a white cover.
Just make a book cover like we did in high school.
Yeah, but that's not,
Holy
I want
What?
It's $125 book.
Yeah.
It's 500 pages though.
Plus 25 shipping, so it's $152.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm not saying it's inexpensive, but if I guess like if a 22-page book costs $4 or $5
and has a big corporation paying for volume of printing and shipping, he's not allowed to, like, if he were to team up with like IDW, like I told IDW to do at the last board members meeting. But legally he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it as per the contract. So but that they would have covered those costs and just bank on them, overprint and sell at higher rates. They would have sold it for $60.
Derek A says, but Jay can't read the physical book. It's printed on paper. I would do anything for Lil Kato.
Yeah, Lil Kato.
It's down to 639.
Yeah,
it's dropping. We're selling it on the air live.
Yeah, it's just like the Home Shopping Network. And there's no women on here, so we're the Homo Shopping Network.
Well, hopefully it's still there when I get paid.
638.
Yeah.
If you want, I can sell you. I definitely want you to have it for sure, because it was almost like a bonding moment for me and Jay, because nobody had heard of it. I stumbled upon it. I watched the first season, and I'm like, Jay, I just finished this season. I don't know if you're on this. And he goes, oh yeah, this shit's amazing. And, and then we wanted you guys to watch it and read it and review it, and you guys never did. Larry's like, what's Final Space for like 6 episodes?
Hey man, don't be mad at me for not having a good memory. I got a condition.
But you still didn't read it. You still didn't watch it.
Okay, I'll watch it. Sorry.
I think that number, the page count, comes from Rogers, who says it's going to be between 400 and 500 pages.
Yeah.
And weigh 4 pounds.
Yeah.
4 pounds.
Yeah,
Wow,
it's like the omnibus. Omnibuy are about like 2-3 pounds if they're not hardcover.
I was about to bring up, there are some IDW Omnibuy that easily go into the 500-600 page count, and those are
That's
only
crazy.
like $50.
Yeah, those artist editions too. They're oversized.
I will say, because it's original, it probably requires more price, but that's a lot.
Yeah,
it is a lot.
I'm willing to pay it. Like, I have to find out what happens to Ash and Little Kata.
I paid $35 for 96 pages. So, like, this is a deal if it's 400 to 500. And it's something that I already know is good. Like, I watched all the seasons. It's a good show. I love that show.
And that's like, even like when Lower Decks came on, like we were already hating on it just because it looked like Final Space, but not enough people are watching Final Space for it. Like, it has a huge fan base. It's not a huge enough fan base for like the douchebag at Discovery to be like, you know what? Let's just give them another season. Fuck it. You know, it's like, yeah, Fuckboy Island. Like, you know, I'm happy to have another Perry Mason season, but really, like, I was like, Perry Mason season 1 was good enough. If I only get one season, but I could get the final season of Final Space, like, yeah, I'll sacrifice the second season.
So wait, so new Perry Mason is good?
New Perry Mason's fucking tight.
Damn. Okay.
Only 635 copies left. And we just sold 3 more. 3 more.
Look, you about to give Jay some like real anxiety, Mo. I mean, Oz. Like, you need to like
anyway. 3 more copies.
Final Space. You need to chill out. Like, they're full about to mess around and like he about to mess up his rent trying to get Final Space omnibus.
Oz, did you just buy one for Jay? Is that why it's like you're gonna surprise him?
No, I was waiting for you to buy me one.
Like,
I got that.
This fool go. Jay gonna be homeless with the Final Space omnibus.
That's gonna be a shelter.
I mean, look, it's 500 pages. That, you know, you can keep warm for a few minutes with that.
Yeah, you can. You can burn that.
Actually, he lives in LA. It doesn't get cold. He's fine.
But Jake gets cold at 63 degrees.
I was gonna say, like, he's from LA, so yeah, that means that like when this fool is at like 68 degrees, he's like, God damn.
They just took the fence down at Echo Park, so he can go hang out there.
All right, but I will catch you guys later.
All right. Good night, Jay.
Night.
All right. What else do we want to talk about before we get out of here?
Let me go into our Discord because I know we put stuff on there.
Oh yeah. No, we look. I mean, look. You brought up the whole friggin' Jonathan Majors stuff earlier, and man, it's like that story has definitely changed since we talked about it the last time. Because since we talked about it in any significant way, like his management and his PR has dropped him, which is like,
I guess more women came out and said stuff. Because I know the original allegation, like that girl like recanted or something, but then came out.
Right. And so that's where we're at with that right now. And it's just like, here's the thing. It's like, you know, when he was losing like endorsement deals, that was one thing. And even like the management, that's significant. but it's kind of like, okay, you might technically be able to be like, hey, maybe the management company, they have other clients or whatever, which I don't know if they do or don't, but it's
Well,
the management. The management leaving is a significant development, just because it's like this dude his star's on the rise, right?
well,
Like,
about the management, and obviously, I'm speaking without knowing what his actual deal with them is.
mhm,
But what usually tends to happen is when he signed that Marvel contract,
right,
however many movies he signed for that contract,
right,
that management is still going to get a cut of all that until that contract is fulfilled. So they could
mhm.
drop him, and he can do 3 more Marvel movies and still get a check. That company will still get a check off of him.
I mean, but well, maybe. Here's the thing. It's like you would be right
I mean,
in the
that's a
sense
standard
that
deal. I don't know what deal he has. I don't know if there's a clause where if they drop him, then that there's different
and
things that happen. But
that's
generally, that's how that runs.
well, but generally speaking, if they're like, hey, we're not going to represent you anymore, that's you forfeiting your money.
No, again, it depends on what they did. I'll give you an example. Home dude from Smallville, Rosenbaum, he dropped his
Mhm.
agent like halfway into season 2, and his
Right.
agent still got paid through the whole run of Smallville.
Yeah, but the difference is he dropped his agent.
Yeah.
If your agent drops you, that's a different thing. And that's the whole point I'm making, where it's like,
Even if it was a contract, he could fight it if somebody's willing to go through that court process. Yeah.
but and that's true. But the same thing is like, if Jonathan Majors was like, hey, you're fired, but he's like, hey, we got a contract, then yeah, you're still going to get paid. But if you're the person that's like, hey, we're going to drop you as a client, why would you still get paid if you drop me as a client? Like, that's a choice you made. So you should still get paid. Like, because if that was the case, then agencies would sign everyone and then just drop them and then still get paid if they happen to make it. Right?
Yeah, you acting like Hollywood managers aren't shady as fuck.
I'm not saying they're not shady. What I'm saying is those deals don't make any sense. And sometimes, yeah, you're like, I'll give you, sometimes people in Hollywood make terrible deals. I'm not saying that that's not the case. What I'm saying is, like, even, like, especially, like, if you're talking about, like, California, it's like, there's protections that are in place where it's like, hey, if you decide I don't want to work with this person anymore, then it's like, you don't get paid because they are still successful when you decided not to work with them. So, and that's where we're at, and that's the whole thing. Where it's like these companies, like the management, is basically deciding somebody who technically their star was on the rise, right? I don't need that money. That's not good money. And so the management is telling, but the more telling part is the PR agency, because the PR agency, their whole existence is about making terrible things look good. And when the PR agency was like, yeah, we're cutting our ties with Jonathan Majors, it's like, ooh. Like, how bad does the muck have to be when you're like, as like, our job is to make the muck look good? How bad does it have to be for you to be like, nah, that's not worth our time. We're good. and that's the whole thing where it's like, like you said, there were other women that came forward, and it's just like, hey, look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Like a allegation or two is one thing, because you mess around and you attain a certain level of success or fame. It's like people are going to come for you, but when you start getting into a like 3, 4, 5 situation, it's like,
It's a little too
I don't know.
Cosby-ish.
I'm just, I'm just saying, it's like, I feel like if you're a person that's not doing something, like you're gonna be hard pressed to find 4 or 5 men or women to be like, oh yeah, he's out here raping, or
Yeah.
she's
If
out
they're-
here mistreating us all.
It's like, sometimes it's like, oh, they're saying there's a fire, but there's no smoke, and then now it's like there's a lot of smoke. Yeah.
Absolutely. And here's the messed up part. It's like Jonathan Majors, which like he's already done a season of Loki, pretty much at this point.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be in that. But it's kind of like, okay, unfortunate for him. He's like he's in a role that's easily recastable.
Is it though? And I saw
It is.
Eric Claw's comment earlier, but I understand the whole multiverse thing, but you
Mhm.
kind of established like there has to be Kangs that look like him.
No,
No, they don't.
they don't. Like, they didn't find out that Immortus was Kang till like Fantastic Four, like 73 or some shit, like 173 or some shit. Like, it's like you had all these characters doing similar shit, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, he's me from this era, and he's me from this universe, and he's me from that. Like, they don't look the same. They changed their look.
They did in Quantumania.
Well, they're Kangs in Quantumania that don't look like Jonathan Majors, though.
Are there?
Yeah, there's like 2 of
There
them.
are.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like the main ones do look like him because he's the actor that's cast as Kang. But like, listen, let me put it like this: if they could mess around and recast Johnny Depp with friggin' what's old boy's name?
Guy
No,
Pearce.
not Guy. No. In Harry Potter.
Guy Pearce.
It wasn't Guy Pearce.
No, it's not Guy Pearce.
Guy
What's
Pearce
his
is
name?
Dumbledore.
It's not Mads Mikkelsen, right? What's his guy's name?
I think it is Mads Mikkelsen.
Okay. If you can recast Johnny Depp with Mads Mikkelsen, you can definitely recast Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, that movie didn't do so good, so I don't know if that.
I agree with you, but dude, like, listen, there's another black dude out there that's as talented.
Because to you they look the same. I get you.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying, try to make him look as much like Jonathan Majors as you can. Not saying they all look the same.
I was thinking that they could go with a white dude, like that looks more like.
See, that's a bad move. Why would you go with a white dude?
Yeah, why would you get more comic actors?
Because they behave better around women.
Oh, see, how dare you, please? That's not true. These look.
You had a president that grabbed him by the pussy. Yeah. He wasn't black. Although his huge hand would suggest otherwise. And his spray tan was.
I'm just saying, man. Like I feel like at some point, like if this joint gets worse, Marvel's not gonna have much choice but to recast. And I feel like from the standpoint of the character perspective,
I put
it's
an
not that
operative
hard.
on the case. I put an operative on the case, so hopefully, they can work something out. But we'll see. I don't want to lose him as like, I'm a fan of him as an actor and Lovecraft.
No, I'm a fan of his too. He's good.
Like, the whole thing with MC, like maybe they'll renew Lovecraft Country, and I can get an ending to that won't be in a $150 graphic novel.
Right. Lovecraft Country was fantastic.
So, but I got somebody working on it. So
Disney's gonna have to write a lot of checks. I mean, it can be done. To get these women
checks.
To get the women to say, you know what, I'm good.
Listen, why would they do that as opposed to just recast the dude?
Well, because I think for most thing that he wants them to keep Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, like I told them.
Oh, got you.
That's what I literally said.
I'm sorry.
On the case talking to people, to executives as we speak, saying, I said, this is what you're gonna tell them. You know, Ezra Miller still has his fucking job. They're calling it the greatest comic book movie of all time. This guy, if you let him go, it's gonna look bad. It's bad optics, man. You know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm ready. I'm working on it, Larry. I'm working on it, Larry.
Not only did they keep Ezra Miller, but there's 2 of him.
There's 3 because I think that Supergirl is Ezra Miller too.
Yeah. You're not
Tiger
wrong.
Claw says it's like how they recast James Rhodes. Which look, we all know, friggin'
Yeah.
While friggin' Don Cheadle's way more comic book accurate than Terrence Howard.
Yeah,
those fools don't look anything alike.
Yeah. And honestly, I think Robert, like, if you do a variant of Tony Stark and do a black dude, I think Terrence Howard could be the black Tony Stark.
That would be funny.
That's true.
Like, and his
Terrence Howard could be black Tony Stark.
I think that's what they're afraid. I think that's what Robert Downey Jr. was afraid of. Like, this guy can replace me. You know?
Look, Terrence Howard makes a lot more sense as Black Tony Stark than he does as friggin' James Rhodes,
dude. Like,
which is hilarious.
Look, okay, so let's say they get rid of Jonathan Majors, but they go with Terrence Howard as Immortus, and it's like, but Larry, now listen, listen, Immortus with the headgear, but Terrence Howard's face. How would that look to you? It's fucking
that
perfect.
looks like Immortus. Yeah, it does look like Immortus.
It's like
Immortus, man.
Immortus, man.
If you
Immortus, man.
Oh, hey, I love those memes. I keep putting them on.
If you make Terrence Howard Tony Stark, or I guess he could be Iron Lad. If you make Terrence Howard Tony Stark, I want Cuba Gooding Jr. to be his roadie.
Dude, come on, what? Listen, why is Terrence Howard not in your mind Iron Man? I'm Iron Man. like, I don't understand. How is that not coming to your head immediately?
Yeah.
Racism. That's why, Oz. Racism.
Because I don't like that now. Or what's that show he was on?
Empire. Like, Jonathan Major's going to be on the reboot of Empire.
That's too funny, man.
Well, that's kind of what happened with him
too
too.
Funny, man.
He got accused of some domestic violence shit. Terrence Howard.
Who, Terrence Howard?
Yeah, I don't know if that's why they chose not to keep with him, but I know he had those issues. It might have happened even before when he was like in Best Man.
I thought it was a money dispute for Iron Man 2.
No, I know, but I know he had those issues.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like the internet wasn't what it was 25 years ago. Yeah.
Is Iron Man 25 years ago?
No, but I think his issues were.
Oh, got you. Okay. Got you.
That we
I was about to say, I was like, wait, what? I'm like, Iron Man does not feel like it was 25
look at me started. I was trying to watch Netflix, and they're like, ready to relive your childhood? We're having the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers with the original cast. I'm like, well, fuck you, Netflix.
Take that, Mo.
By the way, the original Iron Man was 15 years ago, so it's getting there.
That's crazy.
Look, I wasn't a virgin by then. I'm good. Like, that's still I'm still happy with that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be.
I just, I don't want to lose Jonathan Majors, but I mean, if you could grab him by the pussy and be president, you could slap him.
He could be king. He could be king.
Like, he's method acting. He was rehearsing a scene. Like, Scarlet Centurion, I know, slapped a couple chicks around.
100%. 100%. It was a different time.
Yeah.
Scarlet Centurion is like we were all doing it.
Yeah.
Friggin' Scarlet Centurion. But whatever. Yeah, man.
That's the but we'll see. This whole the Guardians 3 thing, like they're finally
Yeah.
Take you there for your birthday.
I don't want to see it. I'm like in it, like, and Larry, like, we're thinking about my birthday, so I know what I'm doing is I'm going to the LA County Fair on Sunday. That's the
Oh, I thought you
closest.
were gonna be
Oh
on there
yeah.
for your birthday.
No, I'm gonna be there on the 10th in Chicago.
That's gay.
Yeah, I know it is.
Why?
But
Why is that gay?
Cause I was gonna go see him for his birthday and make him watch Guardians.
yeah,
You'll be
but that's
hosting-
why I changed the flight. Yeah.
That's why he changed the flight.
Low-key, like while I'm there, I think my niece is gonna want to see it. So,
And that means Mo's gonna have to see it like 2 times.
if she,
Where
yeah,
Where
yeah,
I'm working, it's like an hour and a half out of Chicago.
okay,
So, like I'm halfway there as
Yeah.
opposed to when I'm at home.
okay. No, I mean we'll figure something out for when I'm there. But as far as Larry, if you want to go to a heavy metal concert, that's another thing I'm doing on the 8th for my birthday.
Let's do it. I love
Take a
it.
copy of I Hate Fairyland 5. I
Yeah.
told you up.
That's too funny. I love it.
I bought 4 tickets, so I was,
Yeah, let's do it. Who are we gonna go see?
a band called Unearth, and they're actually the supporting act is Bleeding Through, which is the reason I'm going there. They're
Okay.
really, so we're gonna
Okay. May 8th. Let's go.
at the Regent in Los Angeles, and then
Ooh, that's good.
yeah. So that's the closest thing. I haven't planned anything out either. Friday is Guardians, but I don't want to do that.
Okay, so Saturday then.
Yeah. That's I don't know, man. It's like, but I have to for the show. It's the whole thing. Like,
You know
I
half that
literally,
cast is
I
gonna-
literally yelled at my client this morning. I yelled at my client, and I'm like, "Fuck you!" And he's like, "I didn't make the movie because I was
Listen. Well, we. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish.
Because I was talking about I hate Guardians. Like and I'm like, I understand why they changed things because it'll be too similar to Avengers. And then I started talking about but why did they need to do the dance fight to fight the final?
Right.
And it's like,
Right.
fuck you. And then that fight, like instead of fucking seeing the OG Mind Flayer fight with the Cancerverse shit with the Guardians,
Mhm.
I'm watching
Mhm.
Baby Groot walking around
Yeah.
like this. And I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck you. And now we even have a fake ass Baby Groot with fucking foam ass chest plates and shit, like practical effect Baby Groot that looks like shit. Like it's
He
fucking ridiculous.
grown. He's swole Groot.
It's fucking. He looks like the last
See-
shit I took after taking extra Metamucil.
you know what we can do, Mo?
Yeah.
We can go on the 4th and then ring in your birthday after Guardians.
Yeah, we could do that.
And that might be better because then it's like you don't have the like that happened yesterday. That didn't happen on your birthday, Mo.
That could
Maybe we should do that. We can
okay.
go to like a later show and then we can drink and ring in your birthday right. And then that way you can still like ring in your birthday right. We can go to sleep and then do your birthday the next day and do like that way it don't have that Guardians taint, that Volume 3 taint.
Yeah. Okay.
He's gonna love Part 3 so much.
Well, they show Stallone in the OG Guardian suit with the helmet and everything. I'm like, I love Stallone, man. He's a man, you know. Well, I was Stallone fan, man. I fuck Creed 3, man. I watching that shit.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
It's too funny.
You know, so it's like I'm ready for the reboot with that team. You know, but
With the OG Guardians.
Yeah, so and they don't have Native American,
No.
but yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. Either way, like I saw that in the scene, and the stuff, and that's where I get mad because I'm like, I'm watching fucking the trailer, and the trailer looks like a decent movie, but then it's like I remember like okay, Ego and Celestials, and they fucked up that, and then Eternals was fucked up because of what they did and everything, and so it's like I get super aggravated. It's like, do I really want to get aggravated? Because it's like Heck's like I need more impression. Well,
More Stallone impression.
Yeah, heck, part of it is like you got to take care of your health. You got to do some calisthenics. Do a little, you got to get protein system for you. You got to get, what you really got to do is really do the chasing the chicken. I know you're Mexican, so I know what you got to do. You chase the chicken and then do some jump rope. Yeah,
you gotta like do it with half your face.
Yeah, I know. I got to, but.
Like he's practically Jonah Hex at this point.
Sly Magnum. I need you to just be like, Emily.
Emily. And they'll talk about the turtle. Yeah, my favorite part in Rocky 1 with the turtles. He's like, just looking at the turtle like this. Emily brought in the turtle from outside earlier. I'm like, give me the turtle. But it wasn't time to do the pressure like this. But yeah. Yeah,
that was too funny, man.
The thing about a Stallone impression is like he talks really relaxed because he's been hit a few times in the head. Like that's just really it. And I watch, I watch, Tulsa King. And Tulsa King, he talked a little like this too, but he talked a little like more Tony Soprano too as well. Like what the fuck, yeah. He's more like a boxer, not a boxer.
Good.
He's like the boxer talks a little slur, like he's drunk, he's a little punch drunk, and he gets hit in the head. But as a mobster, he's like, hey, what the fuck is up with my money? What's my cut? I want to wet my beak. I need to wet my beak. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And imagine him in Guardians, I'm saving the universe from fucking Peter Quill. Peter Quill's a fucking I believe the Guardians. I'm gonna bring the next generation to Guardians. It's not about how much you get hit. It's about fighting time. And the time is space. There's no time. I'm old, but I could be better than Peter Quill. It's my time. Yeah. But yeah.
It's so crazy. And it's so funny because it's like thinking about the character that he plays in that movie. And it's just like he can't play that character, like or at least not as like in any comic book accurate way. I guess is the better way to say it.
What the fuck? You act like these movies give a fuck about the fucking comics, man. What the fuck? I can't have my shine as a superhero. I mean, we saw Samaritan. I tried to shine as a superhero for you, and you still shit on me like that. You gonna shit on me here on the MCU too?
Right, because that's exactly what Starhawk sounds like. There it is.
Like, if you don't get, look, I'll be in Silverhawks too, man. Give me time.
Oh no! All right. Listen, what else do we need to talk about before we get out here? Anything else?
So we got a good topic after this impression. I mean, I do have an Arnold one, but it's more of a class on how to do an Arnold one, and I don't have time for that.
Okay, maybe we should save that for next week.
I gotta say that. I don't think Hecht already got his ass workout with all that laughter.
Right. Exactly. We don't want him to have to change his pants. All right. There it is. That can go up a little bit. Just a little bit. There it is. Perfect. It says, I did. LOL. He did have to change his pants. There it is. We know it, Heck. We appreciate you, buddy. All right. I'll score. Final thoughts, buddy.
Only 611 copies of Final Space, the final chapter graphic novel left in stock. We have sold 24 more since we've mentioned it. So go out, get your copies before they're out.
There it is. That's what's real. Moses Magnum. Final thoughts.
Aside from being an impressionist for Stallone, I'm also a pretty good snap player. Like, I got a pretty good strategy. I didn't realize how good I was until Larry told me. because I just I just go on instinct, man. I just use the force with that shit, and I've been shitting on people, and it's up. Like I do the different like wherever you follow us, whether it's YouTube, Clapper, TikTok. So I do the same video on each one for like a 4-day cycle, and the last one just came up on Clapper. If you follow us there, came up actually during the show today. So enjoy that. I fucked somebody up in 17 seconds.
Nice.
It's more than Apollo Creed gave me, But yeah, but that's like, so follow us on social media. You're gonna get that. I'm more consistent on that than our vlogs and one shots and shit for YouTube. But it's getting a lot of views, and people seem to like it. They're like, I never thought negativity and trash talking would get me. But that's my talent, But I never thought people would enjoy me doing that. But they seem to. So yeah, check those out and learn how to play Snap a little bit.
There it is. I agree, man. It's so funny because I'm hoping we can bring Jay into the fold, because I know Jay put in that deck.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. He's been playing with that deck, and he seems to be like, he's like, I won a couple matches with it, and he's like, it's just literally a 1 energy, 1 cost deck all across the board. And
doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no win condition for that deck.
I know. I'm actually I'm gonna try filming one using that deck and see. I might post the loss.
You're gonna lose.
Look, you'd be surprised, man. It's not about how you get hit, Larry. It's about how you hit him back. About how you can hit him back, Larry.
Listen, here's my prediction. Because I was looking at the deck and I was like, I'm looking at this deck.
Bane. I
really think he's gonna do Bane?
Pain. Here's my prediction. Pain.
That's hilarious. No, Jay can win with that deck because of where he's at in his collection level.
Yeah.
Where your collection level is, you're not going to win with that deck.
Yeah, that might be it.
But you should try it anyway and see what happens.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try it just for the content. Hey, look, maybe I'm a better strategist than give me credit for it.
Look, or maybe Jay's deck is better than I would think in too. But I was looking at this deck like, how do you win? Like, how do you win? What is the win? Like, why do I win with this deck? I was like, Jay. And I was waiting for him to put his other deck in there, but he hasn't done that yet. So I'm hoping he'll do that. I'm hoping that's a better deck. Because I feel like Jay looked at the deck and was like, actually, this could be a better deck. And he's like, I'm going to put in the other one. I'm like, I hope that happens, because I want to play with the other one. Because this one, that first one, I was like, man, you're not going to mess around and take my cubes with that deck. Like, I need those cubes. I'm out here trying to get to infinite.
I haven't gone past 80 in this new season, but
dude, it's tough.
There's a lot of good players, a lot of people using Galactus, and I took a break because it's like the Galactus just kept showing up a lot, and it's like, all right, I get it, but I'm like, it's almost like a weird cheat cop out, but still, it's like this. That's the strategy. Yeah. You're playing.
The meta's completely different now, and I'm not mad at it. Like, they made these changes, and those changes worked. Like, whether you're talking about like Shuri or whether you're talking about what they did with Thanos, it's like it changed the game completely. So
my Polaris deck hits, so it's that fucking
yeah. Hex says Galactus is easy. Hilarious.
Well, what they do is they play Galactus with a Spider-Man. And that's it. You're fucked. So, but if you use a Polaris against Galactus, then they'll do the Spider-Man and they'll get destroyed, and then you're free, because that's how you beat that.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I get it, and I've seen it, and I've beaten the Galactus even with the Spider-Man, which is crazy, but you can't do it every time. Yeah. But I've done it enough times where cats are are angry because they're like, "Damn it, this fool!"
I like
Because
when they get angry and you just give them the little Miss Marvel.
they're just toxic. All right. Folks, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. Please go ahead and like, subscribe, tell us what it is that you want to see on the show content-wise, and if there's something that we're not covering that you want us to, make sure that we start talking about a little bit more, we would love to do that. So let us know. We are the Fantastic Forum. So until next time, good night.